So, good morning again, everyone, and welcome to today's panel discussion, Empowering Finance, Harnessing New Technologies and Connectivity Strategies for Enhanced Treasury Operations. We are very excited to have 4 distinguished panelists from leading companies in the finance, treasury, and technology sectors, where each of one brings a unique perspective on how innovation, connectivity, are reshaping treasury operations from real-time payment systems to enhanced risk management tools. So our panelists are Mr. Michal Czerniecki from Kyriba, Dr. Jacques Yana Mbena from TIS, Mr. Luca Crivellari from FIS, and Mr. Gilles Bonlong from Centrus representing TitanTreasury. So, let's start with our first question. We are here to examine you today. The first question is how can ML and AI contribute to the process when they're embedded in cash forecasting and liquidity management? And I want to start with FIS and Mr. Luca Crivellari. Can you please elaborate?
Thanks, Iliana, and thanks all for having us. I'm very happy that FIS is still sponsoring the association for this year, and we're going to have a booth outside, and there's plenty of colleagues of mine outside, so feel free to pass by and have a chat in our stand. So basically in FIS, we are putting in place a strategy that is called Treasury GPT and is moving along 4 main pillars. The first one is user experience. So basically we are allowing our platforms and our applications to be empowered with machine learning and artificial intelligence to support our users in using the platform. This means that we have trained our bots with more than 700 pages of documentations, and basically our users can chat directly with the bot in order to find support and look for answers when using the platform. The second pillar is cash forecasting. So basically we are moving from an accounting view of cash forecasting, where basically cash forecasting was just putting due dates of invoicing throughout a timeline, to a more working capital way of doing cash forecasting, where the due date of the invoice is not the critical parameter, but basically what we are considering is the new date where the payment is supposed to happen. So basically the treasurer will see a more real cash forecasting timeline, where the date where the collection is expected is actually when the client is supposed to pay. And this is based on past payment behaviors and past insight. The third pillar is liquidity planning. This means that through artificial intelligence and machine learning, our clients will have the opportunity to be basically helped with a best friend in treasury that will tell them how to allocate liquidity in the smartest way. So basically, our solutions will be equipped with artificial intelligence in order to basically provide insights proactively on how liquidity will be allocated in the best way within the company by maybe do an investment or to take a loan or whatever. The fourth pillar is fraud prevention. So basically we are moving forward in equipping our digital tools in prevent frauds through artificial intelligence. This means that all the payments behavior of our clients, all their past behaviors will be taken into consideration. And if there is some suspect behavior, this will be flagged with a warning so that if there is some criminous person that is trying to break in and to like impersonate a user or make a fraudulent payment, this can be stopped with the help of AI and machine learning.
Thank you very much, Luca. Michal, Michal, can you go? Do you want to share your views on this?
Absolutely. Thank you, Iliana, and thank you for having us among friends. We feel in here, and it's a great pleasure to be again in Athens. So what you see in the screen right now is a presentation of how AI can respond to a question being asked by a human using the large linguistic models and presenting the data, doing analysis for you. I think Luca summarized quite well where we are today in terms of utilization of AI. So this is obviously a growing domain, and all of us continue working in this area. I will, together with Gabriela during the next session, discuss some of the challenges as well. I'm wondering, have you ever tried asking ChatGPT how many C letters are in the word ketchup? If not, then I can spoil it for you that he's not sure or she's not sure. Sometimes giving the answer 0, sometimes giving the answer 1, depending on the model, on the time you ask. So definitely what will not change is that human intelligence is required to control the output of the artificial intelligence. And it's extremely important to be prepared for the AI revolution with the data, with the structure, with the processes, but also with the experience and wisdom of the treasurer, which the technology will help grow and release the treasurer from the daily manual tasks so that they can step up and gradually get to the moment where they can very efficiently utilize the AI capabilities.
Thank you very much, Michal.
Thank you.
Gilles, can you elaborate on the subject?
Sure. Thank you very much, guys, for having us again this year. And I think at TitanTreasury, there are four main areas that we are continuing to develop when it comes to machine learning and artificial intelligence. And it's safe to say, like Michal said, is that we are still always going to need human intervention and not let a robot make the final call on these things. But we focus on 4 pillars. The first one is to allow our research and developers team to use systems such as ChatGPT for coding, SQL queries around. So these are things that are happening behind the scene that the front-end user will not actually see. But we've also enhanced our chatbot in the sense that you can ask simple questions to our chatbot. For example, what is my liquidity position as of a specific date? And what are my next payments in the next, for the next 2 to 3 weeks? So you ask that simple question and our chat box will give you an answer straight away based on the data that is currently on the system. But you could also raise queries through our chat bot. So for example, if you would like to ask our chat box, how do I book an interest rate swap into TitanTreasury, it will give you the step-by-step guide. The third one that we looked at is actually on the forecasting and analyzing the trend that you guys have into the system. So for example, if you have regular payments on regular dates or specific timeline, we would then allow you to have forecast pre-prepared for you that you can review and validate in there. And the same would work also for market data trend. So we would look at things like macroeconomic data. We'll look at inflation. We'll look at interest rates, and then give you a simulation based on historical data that we load into the system. And the last part is all about the operation side of things. So we can, through our machine learning or artificial intelligence, we are able to help you from a risk point of view, put in place certain risk instruments, such as for people with exposure in FX, we can advise on specific FX forwards or FX swaps, give you a rate and a pips that would be applied that you can take to your counterparty and benchmark and then decide if whether or not your counterparty is giving you a favorable rate. But ultimately, the final point would always be on the treasurer or the treasury team to actually make the final call. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gilles. Thank you. Dr. Mbena, can we have your view on this?
Thank you also from my side for having TIS today. The topic is very interesting and very important because they are on Treasury side sometimes when you talk about AI, it's like, Treasury is very traditional. We need to keep the eyes on everything and be sure. My point of view is here, and that is the one of TIS. You cannot hide from AI. It's already there, right? But before we lecture somebody on how to use AI, it only depends on your data. If your data are not clean, you can do whatsoever you want. AI will bring you nowhere. So what the colleagues already say here, it's all right, focus on your data. And the last topic, I put some bullet point, but I think the answer already, I will not take that time to repeat myself. The last one is informed decisions, which means, treasurer, don't be worried. AI cannot get you out of your position. You have to take the decision at the end of the day. AI can't take the decision. So you have to make sure that when AI is already helping you, and that is what TIS will also propose, right, on the cash forecasting, help you getting the information, simulating the future, you take the right decision. It is you guys taking the decision. And that is where we stand today to provide actually the tools based on your data that make you take that decision with AI. And that is a part all treasurers have to go through. You cannot hide from them. And we, as a provider, we must also make sure that we follow that trend timely. But it's nothing new, actually, AI. We are using that already, machine learning, since a while. Just that which we make that being fancy today, but it's not as new as we believe. So, again, an example of how it can help you here when you see the variations in the behavior of some data. That is exactly what AI will do. But like I say, it depends on how accurate the data are from the first place. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, I'll move on to another subject, and I'll take it to data and to connectivity strategies. So there are very different options that we can choose from. And I would like to ask you to tell us how connectivity can facilitate data-driven decisions and how companies should form and decide on a connectivity strategy that is both future-proof and that will also match their needs. And Michal, would you like to take to give us the first answer?
Absolutely, thank you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I think we can't hear Michal.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you, Iliana. Actually, this is my favorite topic. Connectivity is the basis of everything for treasurers. On one hand side, connectivity to your banks and other financial institutions. On the other hand side, connectivity with your systems. Here, I would like to focus on the bank connectivity. Kyriba is protocol agnostic. It means that we are offering all the potential connectivity methods in the market, and we are equally competent in each of them. Why is that important? Because over your banking landscape, and perhaps even you have some relationship with payment services providers, different protocols will have their pros and their cons. With Kyriba, we're not interested to have any kind of bias towards one of the protocols. We can provide equal quality service with all of them. So let's take it, you can have real-time insights into your transactions and balances using the PSD2 API connectors. At the same time, there are some limitations related to them. You cannot really do a wide scope of payments using PSD2 connectors. Your visibility will differ across each of your banks. Why? Because there is a standard, but everyone adopted differently. So this bank will give you this scope of data, the other bank only 3 columns. There are more universal protocols, there are regional protocols, and they all differ from each other. It's very important to have the right connectivity mix in place, to have the information as accurate and timely and complete as possible, which then is the basis of taking another step in analysis, in using AI. As we have mentioned, data is the basis for moving on and making progress. With that complete offering, we are comfortable that we can provide you the connectivity across your entire landscape.
Thank you very much, Michal. Gilles, do you agree?
Absolutely. I think what's important when it comes to connectivity, Iliana, is to build an ecosystem within your organization that would help you streamline your operation. And it's all about bringing efficiency and then allow you to actually have a single point of truth where you can access the data or the information that you are after. And therefore help your TMS give you very insightful and power treasurer to make the right call at the right time. And it's important that you are able to realize, first of all, what you want to connect, and then what data do you want to put into the system. And there are various ways to do that, just like my counterpart here illustrated. We can do it via an API. You can do it via an SFTP. You can do it via multiple sources. And your IT teams would help us find the best way that would work for you guys and that would be acceptable for us TMS vendors. So we connect with our solution with different third-party systems. So obviously, the first thing here is everybody wants to connect to the ERP, SAP, Yana, all these sort of different ERP solutions. So we can definitely take as much data as possible, but we need to know exactly what it is that we want to put into your system. Then comes the market data. You know, we've got a broad range of market data providers at the moment, whether it's from rates, fixings, whether it's for credit ratings, where you name it. Again, we would work closely with those market data vendors to make sure that we have the data that you guys want, so that you can have at your disposal, within the click of a button, the information that you're after. You know, the same applies for your banking communications. So we have various channels. You can connect directly with the bank. You can connect through payment gateways, providers that would feed the information into your system. But again, you define what it is that you want. Do you want to just have bank balances? Do you want to have bank transactions? Do you want to perform bank reconciliations? All of that are solutions that are available at your disposal for you to have clear tracking of your movements in your bank accounts. Money market funds platform or deposits. Again, it is possible nowadays with our technologies to be able to, within your TMS, make a movement where you're placing your excess of cash into payment investment accounts, whether it's deposit, money market fund, you name it, and have a clear follow-up of what is your return on those investments that you're making. So our solutions, and that's for all our the vendors that you're seeing here, are able to help you guys have that one-stop shop where you can get accurate information or make constructive decisions.
Thank you very much, Gilles. Dr. Mbena, can you share your thoughts?
So the connectivity topic is extremely at the heart of TI's system. So that is why it's a very important topic for me. And when I read the question connectivity, I was like, integration connectivity, what are we talking about clearly? I wanted to ask again, but it's exactly what the colleagues say. It's about ecosystem, right? We call that integration when it's within your company, but actually it's connectivity. You connect all your system, your company, and connect to the banks. When we talk about technologies, we need to make sure that you, in the center of your company, you can interconnect already. Because if it's not working there, it doesn't make sense to go out at the first place. And that is something that, independent of the protocol, like the colleagues say, we are capable to do. But one thing is extremely important, is becoming urgent for corporate and also for vendor, is the API. The API enabled today to not be stuck in one system, to communicate with the whole other world of the system. And that is extremely important from our perspective, because we want people to, like using their iPhone and just add app, right? Treasurer need to be free to say, I would like to take the best of all things. And that is exactly the API technology that enables this connectivity today toward the banks, within within your corporate and your ecosystem. And that is exactly what we offer at TIS. Make you not have to choose between a TMS, a payment white, or a FXZ, but just to take the best of them and put everything together. So connectivity, API, that is the strong word that we want to push out there, and that enable you, at the end of the day, when we will talk about fraud and governance later on, APIs enable you to plug into data until the ultimate beneficiary, like Don John's list, right? That is only possible because you can connect also to those providers. So that is where we stand today, and I think very happy if there are any conversation that you would like to have in depth on this topic. We are out there waiting for you.
Great, thank you very much. Luca, can we have your view on the topic?
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually waiting for an API pitch. I didn't see it coming from Michal and Gilles. So, yeah, actually, as you can imagine, I mean, the treasury management system is a central piece of technology that sits right in the middle between ERPs, banks, market rate providers, trading platforms, the users, and obviously it needs to be connected. Otherwise, it only do half of the job if it's not perfectly synchronized with the rest of the enterprise IT architecture. And how do you do that? Obviously, my colleagues already delved into different options, SFTP, APIs, whatever. Normally, if you only take generic API, there's not really a difference between what you can do between an SFTP or an API. It's just a means of connecting two things. One can say, yeah, but API is real time, SFTP is not real time, it's batched. but normally it doesn't really make a difference for our treasury people. What really makes a difference, in my opinion, is how this connectivity comes into place. So we have invested a lot of time and money in FIS to develop specific and productized API to the piece of technology that is mostly relevant to Treasury after the TMS, which is the ERP. So basically, we have developed some connectors that are working especially between our application and SAP, our application and Oracle, which are the two main ERPs that we see in the market and we see among our colleagues. So if you can go on the next slide, please. We have developed basically a series of API we call ERP connector that are able to flow journal entries, forecasts, and payments from the ERP to the TMS, from the TMS to the ERP on real time. And the benefit of those API versus any standard API that any tech provider has in place are two. The first one is that those API are real plug-and-play API, which means that your tech team, your IT team doesn't need to be involved because it's really a 1 hour job to set this up on our side, and your SAP ECC, your SAP S4HANA, your SAP S4HANA Cloud instance will be directly linked to our solutions in real time without any IT effort on your side. The second advantage is that if there's any change in the technology of your ERP or any change in the technology of our solution, this middleware, this layer, updates automatically on the Treasury side. So the treasurer doesn't need to basically take into account those changes because this is a service that we provide and we make sure that this is working throughout the length of the contract that we have without any treasury team or any IT team needs to be worried on this. So I think this is a real game changer on companies that are heavily relying on SAP or Oracle, because it makes the connectivity game between the ERP and the TMS at a different level and way simpler than it used to be.
Thank you very much. So I have another question now, the last one. I think that over the past years, treasurers have been educated. We know what the TMS brings to the table. We all want one. We know how we can automate our processes, help our day-to-day, give us more visibility. But apart from the standard TMS, what can you offer to a treasurer beyond that? And I would like to ask Gilles.
Thank you, Iliana. I think that's a very important question because treasury functions, in my view, are always the heart of the organization, in the sense that the treasurer, you guys are the one who are told we need to deliver on this business strategy or business goal, go and make it happen. And yes, it's good to have systems. It's good to have informative decisions based on the data that we have. But us at Centrus here, we go beyond that. We support you in coming or realizing the company's objectives and goals. So we've got an advisory function that sits with the technology function, and we help you guys with treasury management policies. We help you in strategic treasury management and achieving of those goals. We can help you with hedging strategies. So we analyze your portfolio and we are able to advise you on risk hedging and support you also with valuation of any of the derivatives portfolio that you have in place, and also benchmarking against other peer-to-peer, to all the way to even support you with auditors' questions. Capital raising, we help treasurers a lot with funding, whether it's private placements that you want to have in place, any project finance that you have. We have the expertise in-house to help you with that. If you want to raise public bonds, whatever it is that you want, we're there as well. Merger and acquisitions, we can support you with those sort of things. Business planning, working capital, we work with you to get those things up and running within your business. And then the final piece is around financial planning and strategies. We help a lot of our clients put into practice some of their financial planning and the strategies they have in place. So it's not just the technology that we have, it's an embedded advisory service that our clients can tap into to have the best of both worlds within one roof, which is Centrus. Yeah.
Very enlightening. Thank you very much. Dr. Mbena, what do you think about the topic?
Yeah, I think for TIS, the topic is very, very good to talk about because TIS does not understand itself as a TMS. So that is pretty clear. So we are already above the TMS anyway. And that's there are some topics that are important that we look for you guys on the daily basis is the regulatory and compliance topic. That's where we believe that value should be added. We support corporate going into an IPO in the way of analyzing the SOX compliance for them and to make sure that, at least from a Treasury perspective, because the SOX compliance are broad, we can support and make them being compliant with the regulatory requirements. We also look out there, since we are not ATMF, we look for solutions that complement the portfolio of the customer, depending on the need. Like you can have multi-currency solutions. We partner with other providers that can do directly settlement in country where it's complicated to reach, and that is extremely important for us. So we support you globally, and if you want to have a settlement in, for example, Zimbabwe or in Nicaragua, and you don't have a bank account there, we can support you to have the settlement. So that's extremely important. And then cybersecurity and fraud, how deeper are we going there? Those are the topics that we do not see urgent, have a treasurer sometime because we believe we have internally all in, but they can actually come from our side and impact the internal resources too. So we provide here detections tools. And the last but not least is monetizations. Of course, when you go abroad, we talk in Europe here, but in the US, for example, there's a lot of discussion about monetization of data and how we can make use of that to get to be as a treasury, not only a support function, but a value-added functions. And those data can be very, very helpful to lower the barrier for financing, for example, an interest rate that you pay, and also the way you will structure your wallet when it comes to debt. So the monetization is extremely important. We have a topic like the partner rebate, right? We analyze for you guys which partner will make you be more successful when it comes to rebates, for example, in the US market. And that is where we see ourselves supporting more than on the payment side, on the cash forecasting, but to aggregate value in the way of a marketplace, right? That is the next stage we put in place, marketplace within TIS where you have those information coming together and you can take a decision already on your wallet within the platform. So I think, like I said before, it's evolving, and that is something that we get feedback from our customer. That is what they tell us they want to see us in the future, next to where the technologies lead us to develop. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Luca, can you share your perspective on this?
Yeah, I think there was an image on this. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Sorry.
I would say that normally what we like to tell to our clients is that the beauty of working with FIS is that we have several solutions in our portfolio, and the most immediate ones that a treasurer can think, maybe a market data provider or a money market portal, or a Swift service bureau. Those are all things that we can offer with our solutions, so solutions that FIS has developed and maintains over time. So our treasury ecosystem, as I would like to call it, is built with several FIS applications, and I would say that most of our clients use the 2, 3, or 4 FIS solutions at the same time. So this is actually what we like, because we want to become a trusted partner with our clients in the long run, and not focusing only on the TMS, but looking at how we can transform treasury for our clients in general. And the good of this is that FIS is a public traded company. We are very well established in the market. We are very stable. So we really would like to earn the trust, because trust has to be earned first of all, but then to maintain it and to expand it across several applications that we can provide, we can maintain, and we can supply to our clients.
Thank you very much, Luca. Now, Michal, do you want to share your thoughts?
Thank you. Yes. If I were to paraphrase Luca, I hope you will forgive me. The beauty of Kyriba is that it is one single solution, one single platform that has all the functionalities embedded in one place. The solution that I wanted to talk to you about today is the possibility to do your working capital programs from our one integrated liquidity performance platform. I was really happy to hear in the previous panel so much being discussed about working capital management. Noted the question, should the treasurer be involved in working capital? I do agree that the answer is yes, because the treasurer is the bright mind that understands the value of money, the cost of capital, and is very well positioned to take part in that process. Now, I was thinking, where would those fears or questions come from? And also from my own experience as treasurer before I joined Kyriba, it is about the complexity of the programs, and perhaps also the lack of integration, the many platforms that companies use in the different programs. In this slide, I'm showing you that Kyriba can give you a platform that connects your suppliers, your buyers, and the funders, so the liquidity providers, so that you have your own program inside our platform on your own terms, within your own solution that is integrated with your liquidity management, cash management, forecasting, payments. All of that works as one piece, and it works beautifully in giving you extreme flexibility in times that you are over liquid. You can, for example, use dynamic discounting. So why is that relevant for a treasurer? If you can place a deposit with a bank for 4%, alternatively, you can pay your supplier early by placing the money, let's say, 3 months ahead and getting a discount of 2%. When we annualize this 2%, it gives you 8%. So why put the money with the bank for 4%? This is significantly increasing the instruments and the actions that the treasurer can take from one place in the platform. And nowadays, I'm frequently asked about a solution that can provide decision-making support what should I do in this situation? How do I optimize my liquidity right now? In order to provide you the best answer to that and the best capabilities, all of these areas need to be gathered together using the same database and providing you with a broad range of solutions that you can use, which is what we do, for example, with that working capital platform that we're very successful with.
Thank you very much. I think we have some time to take some questions from the audience. So if we can get the questions from Slido. So I think you have a minute each to answer the first question. Your thoughts on a one-stop shop product, TMS, ERP, payment forecasting, payment tool, all in one versus separate tools requiring connectivity data feeds. Gilles, do you want to go first?
Sure. It's important to have a one-stop shop where you connect, like we've discussed earlier. But I think what's ultimately important for your treasury function is what it is that you need to get. What do you want to connect, and what data do you want to bring into your TMS? It is useful to have it because it would help you make constructive decisions. And ultimately, like we've discussed earlier, we would always let the treasurer make the final call. So connectivity ecosystem is something that we really encourage because it would help not just from an operation, but also from a reporting point of view, produce a lot of viable and useful report that you can present to your board. Yeah.
Thank you. Luca?
In my opinion, there is no specific answer that is valid for everyone. I mean, every company is different. If there is a very simple company, maybe with one software, they can tackle all their needs. Maybe there is one ERP that is able to make payments and maybe do some cash management, and this can be enough for a company. While on the other side, there might be more complex companies that might have more specific needs that can be tackled only by a specific solution. And nowadays, companies like FIS, but also Kyriba, TIS, and Centrus are investing in connectivities to make all the pieces in the puzzle fit together. So in my opinion, it's just a matter of how well this company can connect to the external of and the other parts of the IT architecture. But really, I think that every company needs to take into consideration their needs first, consult us, have a chat, and understand what's better for them.
Yeah, that's true. Dr. Mbena, your view?
Yeah, I also follow your opinion 100%. There is important for the corporate to identify where is the pain point at the time being, and try to answer this pain point first. Since in my former response, I was talking about API, telling that it doesn't matter anymore, actually, because the data will come together anyway and ease the decision-making process. It's rather better to say, okay, where is my pain point and how do I want to address it, and who actually can address all the pain points in an efficient way and perfectly for me. So, and that's what we believe, at least at TIS. And that's also why we're not going TMS-wide and say, okay, we focus here and we will address the specific challenges of the customer. So there's no such a one answer to the question, actually.
Thank you, Dr. Mbena. Michal, do you want to take the last answer?
Yes. So I have a very specific view for that, coming from my history as treasurer, as a customer of Oracle, SAP, but also as a customer of Kyriba before I joined Kyriba as my employer. So look, from my perspective, there is all-in-one ERP solution possible, and it can work very well. It's very intensive on the internal IT or external consultant side requires a lot of effort. On the contrary, on the other hand side, Kyriba is unique in offering you 100% corporate treasury focused solution, and a solution that has connectivity provided by us, implemented, maintained, monitored, troubleshooted, 100% by us, done centrally, because we have been created modern, we have been created as a SaaS multi-tenant platform. Every single customer being on the same version of our application, it means it's extremely easy to use that scale and manage that for our customers, as opposed to an ERP solution where all the connectivity, as an example, is usually on you. It is developed for you from zero. It is developed on your behalf, and then you are responsible to take care of that. So it's always a choice, and we see only the largest companies going for that one-stop shop with the ERP.
Thank you very much. I think it's been a very enlightening session for all of us. I mean, if the audience has any more questions, they can find our esteemed panelists out there, and you can take your answers there. Now, for the next session, I'll keep Michal on the stage, and we'll also invite Mrs. Apergi and Gabriela, right? Thank you very, very much.